Three incredible men who changed the course of history of an entire nation. That's Homi Bhabha, APJ Kalam and Vikram Sarabhai. And three men whose very capable hands their roles are in. That's Jim, Arjun and Ishwak. Hello and welcome. Hi.
What up, Shilps?
Always a pleasure meeting you, Jim. And always intimidating a little bit.
No.
Slightly. Do you agree?
No.
Can he be intimidating? Come on, back me up here. What do you think? Very. Thank you. Vikram's always my favorite character, yeah, for a reason. Yeah, he can, right?
If you say so.
Okay, so I see the teamwork here. So three of you bonded together on the sets, or is it, what am I seeing on screen? Did you play off each other's energies?
You have to. You have no choice, really.
Okay.
Right?
Most of my scenes were with him.
Yeah.
I hardly had anything.
We had very few.
with,
But what do you think, as a viewer, as an audience? How does it come across? Do you get the sense that there was a sort of a rapport, camaraderie between the actors?
I really felt like it was the grit and determination and the camaraderie which made things possible, you know, the fact that one letter could change so much, or, you know, a friendship could translate into something so significant for an entire country. I think those aspects really came out in this show in a way that history books can never teach us.
Yeah, I mean, I knew of them separately. I didn't know of their relationship through the years, or that Homi Bhabha was his best man and that he had a real relationship with the kids and all of that stuff. I didn't know until this series. So I was really excited by that proposition, especially because Abhay had written a really nice odd couple right from the beginning. Homi Bhabha was more mercurial, was a bit more brash on the surface, and Vikram Sarabhai was a bit more thoughtful and reserved on the surface. But inside, they were the opposite. They had each other's traits in equal and opposite regards. So I think Homi Bhabha on the inside was very also thoughtful and sensitive, and Vikram Sarabhai on the inside was mercurial and brash. And of course, they are united by their grit and determination and their dogged pursuit of what is in their brains. Finding a way to take what is in their brains and bring it out into reality is, I think that's amazing.
Well, I think this is a definitive role that is, you know, one of many decorated ones in your career, Jim. Is that true for all of you? Do people come up to you and talk to you about the show? And when they do, what is it that they usually say?
Yeah, for sure. And it's almost seems surreal. I mean, I have to say it, because I wonder, really, I mean, how can something, like normally, you know, you'd get a response where people would give you, also say that this worked for me, this didn't work for me. But this is unanimously, everyone just comes and shows so much love and appreciation for the characters, for the show itself, that it's almost unbelievable, too good to be true. For me, I mean, I've heard, especially when I meet people who had some association with the Sarabhai family, when they kind of give me a pat on my back or a thumbs up, they say that you've really got the, you know, sense of Sarabhai. We felt that we were seeing Vikram Bhai. People who know of them, of Dr. Sarabhai. That's like that feels very reassuring. That feels great, actually. Yeah, and I mean, for these guys, I mean, what do I say? I mean, I think for my co-actors, I feel it, because like I can speak for them, because as an audience, I know what I enjoy every bit that I shot with Arjun and Homi and Regina. And I know what, you know, how amazing the performance was, because you're nothing but a reflection of your co-actor.
Yeah, reacting to what you have around
to
you.
a great extent. I mean, my demeanor would change with him, because he had a certain demeanor. With him, it was, you know, it's a different relationship. So you are different with different people. So that, because they brought that to the table, I was able to tweak or organically, you know, just kind of change, get that thing in my performance.
You know, in addition to the vast research material available for the show, I heard there were interactions with the Sarabhai family as well, and that they also provided some information. Did you get to interact with anybody associated with this legacy of any of these great men, or people associated with that atomic program at that time? And history?
I didn't have any chance
No?
to meet anybody from. Also, well, Nikhil and Abhay have met people who worked with Dr. Kalam. Unfortunately, we were doing this in the middle of the pandemic, so I didn't have the liberty to go, and they were doing this while the show was being researched. But whatever I could get hands on, like Dr. Kalam's books or all the research material that the direction team gave me, that's all that I could, take all the references from.
We know Abdul Kalam as this very like this father figure who with grey head. I mean, unfortunately, we know him of a certain age, but to see a young Abdul Kalam, that's a treat by itself.
Yeah.
But also, I think you would have had some more freedom with the mannerisms,
Sure,
perhaps.
Sure. Because, I mean, there's no video or photograph of Dr. Kalam from back then,
Yeah.
barring a few photographs. So everything was left to an actor's imagination of what body language to bring in, what accent to bring in. And you played around. I mean, I spoke to Abhay about it. Both Abhay and Nikhil said, just play these guys. I mean, he told that to all of us to just play them as normal kids who are going about, their daily lives, trying to achieve something in the scientific field. Don't play them as the legends that they eventually became. So, just kept it all normal, read up whatever I could. Great help from the makeup team with the look that they created.
You really mean it?
Yeah, as an actor, once you get into those costumes and that kind of a look, you certainly feel like a different person.
Yeah, would you agree? The two of you also had very distinctive looks. In fact, when I saw Homi Bhabha's speeches side by side with your enactment, I didn't see any like physical similarity, but I think there was a similarity in that quiet grit that both of you had, though it was not mimicry or anything of that sort.
No, there was a couple videos of him giving speeches. That's about all we really have. And a bunch of photos, of course. I don't think I look like him at all. And Abhay Pannu made a clear decision not to try to sound like him. He has a bit of a froggy, sort of high-pitched kind of voice, a bit like this. I think you don't want to get into the space of, people doing funny accents means period piece, and we wanted to really be relatable and entertaining just now. So I think for those reasons, Abhay decided to go with that. But we tried to think most about the approach. One, in terms of what you're saying and what Ishwak has said so many times, that Nikhil told him, Dr. Sarabhai, but we want you to play and find Vikram. So we want you to try to find the real human being struggling with problems day to day, trying to solve it, not knowing they're a legend. So I think that's what we tried to do as much as possible. And I know me and Abhay really thought a lot about how does a person who thinks a lot faster than us, how does he approach a scene?
Maybe even their body language, mannerism, or everything, right, leads
everything.
to that. Yeah.
When does he put the file down? Why then? No, really.
Yeah, that's actually true.
Why? Does he come in and put the file down and say, gentlemen, everybody, I would really like you to look over this file?
Or is there a more efficient
does
way?
he come in half an hour late, stand there for a bit, make you wait even longer, flash the file around, you all are waiting for that file. I know you all are waiting for that file. Talk about other things. So how was your day? How was your morning? How you brought us here for the morning? Talk about the morning. No, I didn't bring you here to talk about the morning. So tell me, where did what does that mean? Does it build anticipation? Now is everybody getting... Why would he do that? What does he know about warfare? What does he know about negotiations? What does he know about chess? What does he know about pre-planning a moment? So something that would take us a couple of days to figure out how to solve, Homi Bhabha solves in an instant. That's why you think he's so fast. Things like that.
And you brought that sort of authoritative knowledge to your role. Did that mean a lot of mugging up? Did that mean, as you're saying, just analyzing what would Homi Bhabha do? What would a similarly high IQ, gifted individual do? Was it a combination of all these things?
What do you mean by Sorry, what do you mean by mugging up?
No, like mugging up as in like reading all these scientific terms.
Oh, no.
You know. Did you want them on your fingertips just to?
We would
No, you
write
don't
it
have
in the
to.
scene.
Oh, okay. So you just had to learn your lines basically.
Yeah,
Okay.
an approach. How to play.
Okay.
Does he joke? Does he not joke? Does he release tension? Does he build tension? Does he create suspense? Does he release all the suspense from a situation? Is he lost in his own thoughts and he really doesn't care what anyone else is saying in the scene? Is he paying attention? Do we find out, like for example in that scene with the reactor room, I love it. It's one tiny detail that we added in. Reactor room pre-nuclear, something has gone wrong, I've been called out of the press conference, Nehru is on his way, oh my God, today is the day it's supposed to be announced, we're supposed to get the glow, the Cherenkov glow, if without the Cherenkov glow, it's nothing, 1 megawatt button, blah, 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 we're doing all of this, all of this, all of this, all of this. In the middle, someone interrupts, I fire him, I rehire him, I ask him to get a screwdriver, I send Mathur off to go get Nehru, I'm busy thinking about what I can do, and in the middle of all of that, I say, Mathur, don't forget the garlands. And I go right back to being in this scene.
Yeah.
Jim Saab in the same situation will be falling to pieces. Forget about hiring, firing. And I'm remembering to tell Mathur about a joke that we're playing on Raza Mehdi by over garlanding him. That the payoff is not even in that scene.
It's much later in
It
that
comes
campus.
it comes a bit later in the thing where he gets like 10 garlands put on him. So in the middle of all of this, Homi Bhabha is remembering to still not take himself too seriously and pull a joke off. In the middle of all of this tension. So we're showing a person whose mental acuity can jump between so many different things.
You know, it would be tried to say, for me it was inspirational because so much more than that, right? It's just goosebump inducing every moment. But for the three of you to have had such a closer look at their lives, play them, what sort of impact does that have on you? Short term, long term?
Well, long term, I wouldn't know.
You wouldn't know
just
yet.
like, no, in the sense that maybe 10 years down the line, you would look back and be like, oh man, I got to play this great person. In the short term, I think just the reaction to the show itself was told you that, oh, you were part of something that was well done and well made and important. During the filming of it, I don't think you feel any of that. I think you're just trying to get your day, get the scene right, get the day made. But
Yeah? Ishwak?
I think from the prep to performance and the time when you kind of get done with it, you always, I mean, you also, and that's the time where you kind of putting everything together, and that could be like right after you're done with the shoot, you feel this loss, like you've lost a part of you is over now and it's not coming back, and that's when you kind of go back to those moments that you've lived, which is actually performance, but there's like 200 people standing around you making you believe that it's real, and your co-actors are making you believe that it's real. You've prepared for it. You experience a range of emotions. A lot of it is sort of coming from your personal motivations, your personal resources, a lot of memory, personal memory, sense memory, and that imagination, what if life could have been this? Because at the end of the day, these are human stories. I may not have experienced the magnitude of what Homi Bhabha and Vikram Sarabhai were doing, but I've had a mentor. I've mentored people in a certain way, in a very small way. So I know what the essence of this relation is and what this relationship is. And the way it works out, pans out in the story, it does give me a very real feeling that what if my life could have gone this way? And what were the changes I should have made in my life for it to go in this direction or not? What would it mean to do the right thing? It just, you kind of, self-reflect. You reflect on all these things, think about it, and it gives you a perspective, I guess, to move forward. And it's got nothing to do with performance. It's got to do about your personal growth.
That's so beautifully said. It's like you're at the edge of a multiverse, and as actors, you can be everything, everywhere, all at once, right? I think I really like that way you put it. That was fantastic. Also, the women here conspicuous by their absence in this interview, but be it Regina or Sabha playing characters with so much agency for that time. And I think a large part, the portrayal, the way it's written and it's shown, that also contributes to a lot of it.
And now Charu Shankar as Indira Gandhi.
Oh yes, absolutely. From the glimpse I saw on that trailer, she was fantastic. Like I had to look again to make sure it wasn't any archival footage. She was great. And I'm sure I'm going to get to see a lot more. The trailer was very tiny. You didn't give out much. Actually, we do know what happens, but I mean the series has a thriller quality to it, right? Despite knowing.
Yeah, I think it's a very nice outline of the whole thing. It's a beautiful sketch.
The conflicts really well.
Yeah, it's a beautiful sketch. I would say it's also not giving away too much, but yeah, it's put out just in the right measure.
Yeah, and even the lines that are there in the trailer, we have to finish what we started. Yeah, there's just the right impact.
Let's finish what we started.
Let's finish. Sorry, I'm so sorry.
No worries. I know it, I said it.
Of course, yeah, it's your line, it's your line. I said it so badly.
No.
You know, we were talking about actors and makeup and everything that helps you get into character, but also the seminal locations that you shot in. Right? I think I got a glimpse into the Indian Institute of Sciences, which I didn't know was set up by these distinguished gentlemen, or I didn't know that Vikram Sarabhai was part of that Ahmedabad textile research, that he set it up, or of course the Bhabha Atomic
How did
Center.
they do so much?
Yeah.
It's just unbelievable.
It's so daunting even to watch.
They didn't set up IISc, they didn't set up, they met at IISc, but set up a lab there.
Yeah, set up the lab.
Homi Bhabha set up TIFR, Vikram Sarabhai set up eventually ISRO.
Yeah.
And
IIM.
the Textile Institute.
And
BARC. And I don't know what you went on to do.
Something,
I just became the president.
Just the president.
With the mantle forward.
Yeah, you know.
But honestly, it's mind-boggling. It is mind-boggling to think about just the amount of things these men achieved and their eye to detail on all aspects of it. Like, he was deeply involved with something that wasn't even his field of study and his real main pursuit. I mean, he was down to the nitty-gritties of like how the building should be designed and things like that. So was Homi Bhabha. Like, what trees should be planted, what flowers should be planted where in TIFR. He had such an eye for all of these details. I mean, some people will say nowadays you would be like, you know, just learn to delegate, bro, whatever, you know, like don't micromanage. But he knew why, you know, he had a whole botanical science for why it needed to be like that. It's just it's incredible.
Yeah, a story of men who could do it all and did it all so well, much like the three of you. Thank you so much. That's my time.
Thank you.
An absolute pleasure. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, Shilpa.